Alright, so I do have another eBay junk lot. It's more Nintendos this time. We got a top loader, which is a little more yellowed up here than I remember the picture depicting. So I've actually had it happen to me once or twice where the picture of the item was not anywhere near what I was actually sent, and I sent that one back. I mean, that was just recent too. And a couple front loaders. They also look like a lot worse condition than the pictures led me to believe. Looks like they wiped it down with sandpaper. Unless it's just giving some reflection. See all that? Kind of looks like deep scratches actually, but maybe it's just a residue from whatever they used, because it's all over. I hope they didn't use anything abrasive. So that might be one of the first things I do, is just clean those, because I'm already not happy with this. Because I want to say it was like $70 for this and $70 for those. Oh God. The cart connector, typical corrosion on the metal. There's all kinds of stuff, all kinds of junk stuffed down into it. Done videos on that before. It's just dirty, big mess. That doesn't mean it won't work though. Oh yeah. No power. Not even a change, so I'm guessing cap on that one. I can kind of see the top of the cap, but it doesn't look domed, so who knows. Well, I can get the game to load somewhat. So I'd say the console's okay, it just needs a 72 pin. Pretty typical. Only getting a green screen with this one. This one does feel a lot more loose. Even just looking at it like this, I can tell that thing's really dirty. There we go. Glue on it. So that one's working. So I guess we could take a quick look at the top loader. Super. Dead bugs everywhere. I'm seeing some corrosion right on the leg of the inductor. So I kind of see some crud down in there, and I think that's going to be a problem. Even the leg of the bridge rectifier is showing some corrosion. The rest of the PCB looks clean. Most of the legs of the chips look okay. This area is dirty as usual. Actually, it's showing some corrosion, which I have actually seen the power switch. And these legs are very corroded on this switch, so that might actually be the problem. They appear to still be intact, but might be a little bit of corrosion on that trace right there, and via a little bit of corrosion there. So yeah, it's got some problems, no doubt about that. I'll show you what I was talking about with all this crap down here. Man. Thick stuff, whatever it was. I mean, that looks like a piece of wood or something. Straw? I think that guy came from somewhere else. I don't think he was down in there. So I can put the LCR meter on the cap. And it's actually pretty good. Resistance 0.1, not too bad. Capacitance is a little low for supposed to be in 1500, but it's not like it's totally dead and would be causing it not to power up. I'm starting to really think about the power switch being the issue here. Let's see, I'm on. Wow, I got nothing. And I should, because I am on. Remember one time I even had corrosion on this trace right here. Like I didn't have continuity from that solder pad to the leg. But we're definitely in the power switch problem. If you can see the corrosion down there, it's kind of hard to see, but it's significant. Well, I think I got that one figured out, but still just not happy with the overall condition of that thing. That thing's just beat up and yellowed. I mean, $70 seems a little bit much for something that beat up and yellowed. So I don't know. I definitely want to I'm just going to take the top off of one of these. I mean, you can see that pattern in there. I'm just going to try to clean it and see if that goes away. Because if it was like really dirty and they scratched it with something and just left a pattern on there, that's one thing. But if they like used something very abrasive on it, I don't know, like a Brillo pad or something, and made those scuff marks and they're not just going to wash off, I'm going to be much, much less happy with this lot. Well, I did wash it, and it's definitely something that the seller did, or somebody, because it's still got a pattern to it. But more importantly, you can see it on the black pieces. If you get in the right light, there's a lot of extra scratching right there, and just a little bit right there. So yeah, I'm gonna say they wiped it down with a freaking Brillo pad or something. I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty terrible. Oh well. We'll see how that goes. Get back to the switch on this. While the 808 heats up, I do usually clip the standoffs flush on the switch because my tip cannot go over them. They're just extra wide, and try to get the pins will probably just break free once I start desoldering those. It's happened to me before where I just yeah, it'll keep some pressure on it. That one definitely broke free already. Well, I'm stopped up here or something. Yeah, that one did too. I'm not getting very good suction on my 808, so I need to clean it out a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty typical. And there's another little roach carcass there. So it looks like there's actually a little bit of the legs left. And when I see that, I usually end up being able to clean what's left of them and then just solder to them with some component legs I got left over from capacitors and resistors. Solder those down through the holes. Yeah, it almost looks like a bug got destroyed right there. I've never seen that before. There's just a spot of corrosion that got through the solder mask. But yeah, that's probably fixable. So, what I'm talking about is just legs like that. If you watch my channel, you've seen them before, but for people that haven't, just legs that you cut off of old stuff, or caps and resistors. Not old stuff, but new stuff, really. Get less of those pins out of there. Be careful because if you don't put sideways pressure on them, you just suck them right into the gun. There we go. Holes are clear. Switch is out, so I remember I solder to the pins on the switch, what's left of them, and then insert that through. And try to be careful because heat could unsolder them while you're trying to solder to the circuit board. But that's the gist of the fixed. Well, unfortunately, while trying to clean one of the legs, it broke off pretty flush. If you can see that, it's the middle leg here. So, just gonna have to salvage one. Matter of fact, what I could do, just for a quick test, is to just bridge those two solder points. And that way it would be on, and then I could actually test it for 5 volts and whatnot. Let's try that. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I've bridged it right there. So we'll turn it back on and see if we got power now. Okay, so as soon as I plug in power, and even the power port looks really crusty. And I'm still not super hopeful we're going to get anything because of the corrosion on the inductor. Look at that. Works. Got mute on. Right on. So, I will probably harvest that switch from one of my parts top loaders, which probably running really low on those switches. I think I've only had maybe 4 or 5 parts top loaders, and it seems like I had one down to the bare board and gave it away so that somebody could try to replicate it, and that kind of fell through. I'd still like to do that, but I've used some of those switches in the past for fixing top loader, so it'd be really nice to find a replacement for that. I have not found one yet. I even thought I could just take that apart and just use that board if there was such a thing as a switch that had the exact same components right there, and just the body and the switch was different, or the actual lever or actuator was different. So that's an idea. And I have seen somebody use a non-standard switch there, and they made it work, but I could just tell by looking at it, it wasn't anywhere near like the original. So yeah, definitely get in there and clean that inductor corrosion. Probably want to do the cap. Other than that, I'd say that one's fixed.